Innovation. Readus 101 is officially 2 years old. 2 years old. That's right, readers. October 2nd officially marked my second year here on YouTube. So to celebrate, I asked on my Facebook and Twitter accounts if you had any questions to ask me. And would you just look at that? We got enough questions to actually have a Q&A video. Alright, so let's dive in. Sean over on Facebook asks, why do you read comics and what about them interests you? Well, Sean, let me answer the first part of that question, which is why do I read comics? And a big part of that for me was what actually got me started. As you all might know, I was first introduced to superheroes through the 1989 Batman film. And growing up, he was my favorite superhero for the longest time. But the only regular exposure I would have of him were his movies and Batman the Animated Series. So once I found out that there was such a thing as comic books, through finding out that there are Batman stories in said comic books, I started to read comic books. And it was through those stories that I was introduced to the concept of other superheroes and more comic book series, and I just went on from there. And as I continued to read them growing up, I began to realize a lot of things about the comic book medium that I enjoyed. Specifically on the end of superheroes and shared universe, because growing up that's all I actually really fucked with before finding out about solo stories. One of them being how well narrative and art style work with each other. How writers can pass the baton regarding their writing style to writing style and it still be canonized and just have the greatest flow. And at the same time, witnessing how those two elements don't necessarily work with each other all the time. I found it just as interesting seeing how easy the transition is from writer to writer and artist to artist, with the same interest as seeing it all completely crumble apart. It's how I gained my opinions about different writers and different art styles, and how I initially gained my ideas of what I look for in storytelling, specifically in comics. And as a matter of fact, I guess you could say that's the same thing about comics that interests me. The flow of narrative between one writer to another, the flow of art style between one artist to another, or the lack thereof. Seeing how well creatives have and will collaborate with one another, and whether or not it's going to work. The F. Paris Cat on Twitter asks, have you ever seen the film called Jupiter Ascending, and if so, what did you think of it? I actually did see Jupiter Ascending. I went to theaters to go see it. I thought it was pretty good. I thought it was very character driven and focused more on the relationships between the characters other than the action. It's not my favorite Wachowski film so far that's tied between the first Matrix and Cloud Atlas, but it's still enjoyable. Brando Vader asks, cats or dogs? Dogs. Always dogs. Because 1, I'm allergic to cats. 2, cats are assholes. And 3, depending on whether or not you are the only human in their lives, dogs will always love you. So yeah, dogs all day. CJ Lat asks, what are some big content creators who have inspired you? Ah man, that's a good one. Because I honestly pulled a lot from different YouTubers and added my own style in order to get to where I am now as far as Readus 101 is concerned. The way that I rant is because of Superwoman. The way that I roast people is because of Foxy Hot Mess. The way that I review movies and shit is because of The Completionist and Jeremy Johns. And the way that I cover geek and nerd related news is because of Jon Stewart. It's just like I pulled from all the sources for my shit. All of them. Brando Vader asks, have you ever seen the film Bad Milo? No. I've honestly never heard of it. Let me look up a synopsis right quick. Oh. Okay. So, depending on my mood, this will be watched. Maybe. Manuela Lima asks, what's my favorite TV show? Good question. Because if I were to say a current TV show now, I would have to go the generic answer and just say Stranger Things. That show, I fucking love that show. But if I have to go on a list of TV show that I have no problem marathoning whenever the fuck I feel like it would have to be this anime called Paranoia Agent. I love that anime. How would you get away with murder? I'd call Viola Davis. Gordon Law asks, what has been your favorite movie to review from the past 2 years? Well, time to look at my catalog, cause I don't fucking remember. So you're probably going to hate this answer, Mr. Law, but for me it's a three-way tie between Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice, The Huntsman Winter's War, and the 2016 Ghostbusters reboot. And that's mostly due to the fact that those are the main three films that I enjoy talking about just as much as I enjoy watching. And that's not to say that I don't enjoy talking about the movies that I generally review. I just really enjoy talking about those specific three. Waffle? Yes, if you give me a goddamn waffle iron. Otherwise, it's gonna be pancakes, bitch. I don't got time for games. Would you rather have fingers the size of legs or legs the size of fingers? I'm calling the police. Well, I hope you all enjoyed that Q&A. I certainly did. I've been trying to get one off the ground since like the middle of this year, so I'm glad that people actually decided to participate. And also, thank you for sticking around with me for 2 years on YouTube. I definitely got more to share on this platform if you got the time to deal with my black ass. So with that, readers, your homework assignment for the day. If you want more Q&A episodes from me, because I sure do, I would like to do at least one a month, write in the comments section below anything you want to ask me and we'll do another one in November. Also, be sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications, because I post new videos every Monday, Wednesday, and every other Friday. And while you're at it, go ahead and share one of your favorite videos of mine with some of your friends. Let's try and get the reader community to 5,000 subscribers before the end of the year. I'm going to do my part. I hope you guys do yours. Anyway, this is Readus 101. Class dismissed.